Chapter 3. Who are the customers who want our product? Who has this problem? Whom do we offer an added value to? Once we define the problem, our next question to ask ourselves is, who exactly has this problem? We must be aware that we will only be successful in our business if people trust us and are willing to pay for our solution. It is, therefore, crucial that we understand very well who these people are. In the early stages of planning our business model, we usually start with basic demographic data. We want to know whether our potential customers belong to a particular gender, age, profession, location, or any other characteristic. For example, if we sell lipstick, our customers will be mainly women. It is very important to define our potential customers as precisely as possible, because having this information reduces the cost of acquiring them. This is called marketing. Rough market analysis. Once we have defined our customers, we can roughly estimate how big our market is. For example, if we know that customers are married men between 25 and 40 years of age who are actively involved in sports, we can use statistics to roughly determine how many people with such a profile there are. This can be a very good indicator for us of whether our idea has potential. If there are very few people with a specific problem, our business might not survive, or our solution might have to be very expensive. Early adopters. The smaller subgroup of customers we defined earlier are the early adopters. These are the people who suffer most from the problem we solve. Such people are usually willing to pay anything to have their problem solved. We want to define this group as precisely as possible because in the case of startups, these are often our first customers, and can be our test users who help with their feedback and product development. Review of data with interviews. If we assume things too much, we can easily fall into the trap of making the wrong decisions. That is why everything we put into the business model must get tested. The first phase of testing our assumptions is an interview. Nobody can give us more precise answers than the customers themselves, because it is them who will bring our revenue. Do you know the saying, the customer is always right? We want to interview as many demographically diverse people as possible. Do not ask your mom. If we ask our mother if she thinks our idea is good, she will say yes anyway, because she is emotionally attached to us. We will probably get the same response if we ask our best friends. If we want to get useful answers, we have to ask people who do not know us or who are not emotionally attached to us in any way. We usually have a strong aversion to interviewing strangers on the street. Unfortunately, this is one of the challenges we cannot avoid, but this is often only a problem during the first interview. Then it gets easier. User and customer. We must also think about whether our customers are also users. Let's take, for example, children's toys. In this case, the users are children, because only children play with them, and the buyers are parents because they paid for a toy. Customers are always the ones who give money, and users are the one who use the product. In the case where a customer and a user are different people, it is important to think about what is important for your customers and users separately, as well as how to meet the needs of both. In the case of toys, manufacturers make sure that a toy is interesting for children. However, they also make sure that a toy is made of safe materials, has a reasonable price, and possibly has an educational use. In this way, they also meet the needs of parents. This is important because users influence a customer's decisions to make a purchase. We also must pay attention to this in our interview. If users and customers are different people, therefore, they pay special attention to this and explain it in the business model. Homework. Let's start with the question, who are we solving the problem for? It often happens that competitors say that their product is for everyone. However, that is far from true. At this point, we look for those people who need our product or service the most or have the strongest problem. Ask yourself what other situation a person must find himself in to be ready to buy our product. Now that you have imagined this person, try to, as accurately as possible, define him or her. Specify gender, age, status, where he or she lives, city, countryside, country, region. What does this person do for a living? What is the type of car this person drives? What are the hobbies he or she has, and so on. All that could be important to define this group of people. Be aware that everything you write is just an assumption. Based on the person's profile, try to find out how many such people there are in your market and where that market is located. This information can be found online. Once you define the size of the market, the assumptions made earlier need to be revised. Before the next meeting with your mentor, have at least 5 interviews with people who match the customer profile. We must not ask questions that can only be answered with yes or no, because information is lost this way. It is usually good to ask the interviewee about their past experiences, where we give them a chance to talk. For example, if you want to open a vegetarian restaurant and we would like to know what dishes our potential customers would like us to offer, we won't ask questions like, "Do you like tofu?" because this person may really like tofu, but he or she prefers something else. It would be better to ask, "Can you please tell me which restaurants you normally go to and what do you order there?" This way, people will give us much more comprehensive answers, which could also surprise us. Competitors are advised to conduct at least 20 interviews by the end of all workshops. If the pool of respondents is too small, the answers can lead us astray. Conduct interviews by simply asking them if they would like to participate in the interview. Interviewing people is very important because with the gathered information, we will be able to design an even better product, tailored to customers' needs. Write down at least 5 questions asking about their problem and needs, but do not mention what your business idea is.